Leonardo da Vinci used the drawing of buildings as a background in most of his paintings, adorning them with windows behind which natural landscapes appear, which gave his works depth and realism. Sometimes, these backgrounds appear from inside the buildings, and at other times, beside them. However, in the Mona Lisa, Da Vinci presented a new style represented by the balcony, where he used this element for the first time in this painting, and reused it later in the Isleworth Mona Lisa. He depicted the form of the balcony and its marble columns with astonishing precision and realistic details.
Raphael Sanzio was also influenced by this style, adopting it in his painting Lady with a Unicorn. This approach continued to inspire as many artists followed suit, depicting women framed by a balcony overlooking a natural landscape. Da Vinci innovated this style in decorating the Mona Lisa painting in both of its versions, and then Raffaello Sanzio and other artists followed him later.
The balcony columns in all of these artworks appeared only partially, never shown in full, with parts of them hidden along the sides of each painting.
Da Vinci's idea of showing only half of the columns in both versions of the Mona Lisa was adopted by the painters who came after him. However, their commitment to this idea did not fully capture all that Leonardo had established in the original Mona Lisa, as some of its elements remained an enigma, elusive even to later artists such as Raphael and others.
For example, in the Isleworth Mona Lisa, the columns appeared clearly, in a way consistent with the traditional character known in painting. And Raphael followed this approach of Da Vinci by showing the columns clearly and precisely in his painting Lady with a Unicorn, drawing inspiration from the idea of the columns in the Isleworth Mona Lisa. And Raphael was not able to grasp the mysterious style that Leonardo adopted in drawing the columns in the first version of the Mona Lisa, where the columns appeared in a strange manner, shrouded in complete ambiguity. And this style requires a precise analysis to understand its dimensions and the mystery that lies behind it, which we will now explain.
To diagnose and prove the presence of mystery and enigma in the columns of the Mona Lisa, we must undertake an analytical experiment based on comparing the painting with other paintings. By completing the hidden forms of the columns and the balcony walls in each painting individually. To diagnose, for example, in the painting Lady with a Unicorn, the non-visible parts of the wall were completed using imagination and computer techniques, with the aim of exploring the potential mystery in the design of the balcony. The columns were also completed. Then the lady was brought to the foreground, followed by displaying the natural landscape in the background. After that, the columns and the wall were cut from the middle, and it became clear to us that the visible form of the balcony is natural and not shrouded in any mystery.
Also, in the Isleworth Mona Lisa, the non-visible parts of the wall were completed using the same previous method, with the aim of exploring the potential mystery in the design of the balcony. The columns were also completed. Then the lady was brought to the foreground, followed by displaying the natural landscape in the background. After that, the columns and the wall were cut from the middle, and it became clear to us that the visible form of the balcony is also natural and not shrouded in any mystery. Then we used this experiment on the first Mona Lisa, but in a broader way. We completed the non-visible parts of the wall using the same previous method, and we added the balcony columns from the painting, Lady with a Unicorn, instead of its original columns. After that, we brought the lady to the foreground and displayed the natural landscape in the background, and we cut the columns and the wall from the middle. It became clear to us that the visible form of the balcony appears natural and not marked by any mystery so far.
We also used this experiment with the same painting, where we revealed the non-visible parts of the wall, and we added the balcony columns from the Isleworth painting instead of its original columns. After that, we brought the lady to the foreground and revealed the natural landscape in the background, then cut the columns and the wall from the middle. It became clear to us that the visible form of the balcony appears natural and free from any mystery, so far.
And now, after those experiments that showed us that the shape of the balcony in these paintings is natural and not marked by any mystery, even in the first Mona Lisa, to which we added the columns from the other paintings, its balcony, including the columns, appeared harmonious and free of any doubts regarding mystery. We will add the original columns to the experiment itself to test whether they are natural or not. We reveal the wall after completing the non-visible parts. Then we add the columns, which now appear in an unnatural way and are shrouded in complete mystery, as is clearly evident. After that, we bring the lady to the foreground, with the natural landscape displayed in the background, and we cut the columns and the wall from the middle. Now, the Mona Lisa has appeared to us with a balcony that seems inconsistent and unnatural in both structure and appearance.
It is now evident that the first Mona Lisa is distinguished by its unique characteristics, which clearly point to its complete difference from the paintings that came after it, which in some cases are considered copies of it. Among those paintings is the Isleworth Mona Lisa, and others that resemble it, such as the painting Lady with a Unicorn by Raphael.
It also became clear that Raphael did not draw inspiration from the design of the balcony columns found in the first Mona Lisa when painting Lady with a Unicorn. Rather, his source of inspiration was the Isleworth Mona Lisa, not as some scholars and historians believe, that Raphael visited Leonardo da Vinci's studio and saw the original Mona Lisa, then drew inspiration from it to design his Lady with a Unicorn, modeled after the famous Mona Lisa. This research and the analytical experiment we undertook in studying a fundamental part of the Mona Lisa and in an innovative approach that aligns with the advancements of our era, has imposed upon us an undeniable truth. The columns that appear in the painting possess distinct and unique characteristics that do not repeat, as was previously believed. It has become evident that the painters who came after Da Vinci, foremost among them Raphael, did not draw inspiration for the columns designed from the original Mona Lisa, but rather from a more traditional model, clearly reflected in the Isleworth Mona Lisa.
With the exception of the Proto-Mona Lisa, which was painted with columns that show a similarity in their position and cropping to those of the original Mona Lisa, preserving its main objective, to replicate the original with the highest possible accuracy without revealing anything that might appear strange or unfamiliar.
From here, this study compels us to reconsider the way we approach artworks, even the greatest of them, as if they are fully understood and thoroughly analyzed. For art, as Leonardo da Vinci once said, art is never finished, only abandoned. This perspective aligns with what we have concluded, that every work of art remains open to new possibilities of understanding and discovery. Da Vinci also added in another saying, "The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding, and such joy can only be achieved through research, analysis, and re-examination of what we assume to be self-evident."
He went even further when he said, "Details make perfection, and perfection is not a detail," which affirms that our analysis of the columns, their cropping, their construction, lies at the very heart of a deeper understanding of this unique artwork.
And in his holistic vision of art, Da Vinci also wrote, "The painter has the universe in his mind and hands." a phrase that sums up Leonardo's philosophy of merging art with science and nature, making every line he draws part of a unified cosmic vision.
Accordingly, no painting, including the Mona Lisa, should be seen as a final destination of understanding, but rather as a living entity that interacts with modern tools of analysis and the knowledge of its time, offering us, with every new reading, a new gateway to deeper insight.
Thus, art remains in constant motion of discovery and interpretation, enhancing our appreciation for it and opening wider horizons for understanding those masterpieces that defy time and artistic memory.